Hi guys, it's Colette. Welcome back to my channel. This is the monthly tarot forecast for the month of May 2020, and we do global, we do career, we do love, we do health, we do wealth, and we do spirituality. So if you're new to the channel, I hope you'll stay and subscribe and hit the wee bell notification and join in, because we have lots going on that works better if it's a community and people join in. So this is your forecast. It is the underlying general forecast. Not everybody will feel it. Not everybody will feel it to the same extent, but it can be used as a good guide. So we're going to go first for the global situation. Where's my glasses? There we go. We're going to go first for the global situation. And I'm shuffling my mini Rohrig deck, my small Rohrig deck, and cutting, and the top card becomes the global card. And it's the Nine of Wands. You know, I love the blues of Rohrig. This is the Nine of Wands. It's slightly different to the Rohrig, the Rider-Waite deck, in that it simply just has this aspect of strength and almost breaking out of a box. It's an interesting one for the global, because what does it mean? I mean, you look at that video, yes, it says the sense of strength on it, but it looks as though this edifice is actually exploding from within, doesn't it? You know, it's actually exploding out the way. I find that really, really interesting, because yeah, in the global situations, there's been a lot of sort of resistance, and there's been people on the streets, there's been people out sort of saying what they want and what they'll not do or what they will do. And generally, there's been pressure from the outside on global politics, global, you know, maybe different countries, government systems. And this is an interesting one, because it shows almost the power for renewal, the power to blow everything apart, maybe to start again, is coming from inside. It's coming from, you know, it's not imploding, it's exploding. So it'll be interesting to see what governments and what political systems that equates with in the week ahead. I'll be watching quite the news a lot, and seeing what this is. And if you have any ideas as the week goes on, please put it in the comments below, because I really do find this fascinating. I mean, is Trump maybe going to explode, and, you know, that be a catalyst for other things? With Boris Johnson, you know, is the UK government going to explode? Is the coronavirus going to in some way be pushed forward from within, with maybe laws, etc.? It's an interesting card for the global situation. For kind of ourselves within the global situation, it shows an inner strength to push the barriers away from us, and actually to release. You know, it's a bit like a volcano, isn't it? The sense of the pressure building up and then it explodes. So yeah, interesting one for global this week. So let's see, we'll go to the more personal cards now. And this one is career. And the career card, lovely. It's the Eight of Discs, and it's an interesting card again, because for career, it's not one really of movement, it's one of protecting your interests. And you know, this shows lovely, the little group of people there. Oh, good. Now some people see them beside a bonfire with all the smoke going up. Others see them beside a tree. And I'd love you to look at it and see what you get. Okay, there's the people. Focus, camera. Focus. Yep. Is it a tree? Or is it a bonfire? Now, I found with people that they see this differently at different times in their life or with different moods. I see it as a protection card and an almost sheltering in groups. So, for career, in a way, we are sheltering in our family groups. We're protecting ourselves. So, with that, for a career, it is what it is. We are literally in a protective role in careers. I don't see too many people making massive changes to their career at a time of lockdown or whatever. For those self-employed, it might be even to, maybe have more conference calls so that you've got more connection with, with your own group, with your own profession, with your own career group. So it's not one of major progress career, it's one of literally just doing what you can to protect your work ethic and your sort of any rhythms that you've got there, which I must admit for me have gone to pot. I don't know what I'm doing from one day to the next now. Excuse me. So let's have a wee look at health, general health. Oh, this is a nice one, although it can be a wee warning card. It's the Four of Swords. Beautiful card. Now, what we do have in the original Rider-Waite deck, etc., there's a knight at arms, but he's lying on a plinth and he has his sword down. He looks dead, but he's probably just resting. Now, this card is about being meditative, rested, understanding when you need to rest. Now, I love this card. It brings out all sorts of gentle things with me, like working with crystals, understanding even the moon cycles and where we are in our bodies as to where the moon is, because we're all affected by the moon and the water, etc. Absolutely stunning card. So for our health, excuse me, it basically means that the week ahead is meant to be one of looking after ourselves, maybe pampering ourselves a wee bit. Also maybe getting into the habit of giving ourselves time to generally relax and think. When you're in lockdown, and I know a lot of people aren't, a lot of people are first responders or medics and everything are out there. And if I were a wee bit younger and still in pharmacy, I would be out there too. So if you're at home and you're in lockdown or whatever, it's about looking after yourself and having as many little techniques to bring yourself into a place of calm, whether that's meditation, whether it's reading, whether it's music, whether it's gardening, all under the influence of this card. If you are out there working, first of all, thank you. Thank you to everybody from doctors, nurses, pharmacists, to the delivery people that are bringing our food to the door, to the delivery people that are bringing us the things that we need. To everybody that's there, even working in councils, etc., keeping things ticking along, believe me, I thank you, and we thank you so much. It would grind to a halt without you, so know that we're very thankful. But those of you that are out there working, there's an extra stress. Some people are kinder, some people are not so kind. Find a place when you're home to have that little bit of yourself relaxed. Have a nice bubble bath, meditate. Do what you can so that you're kind of revived for the next day, and do that every day with this card, because it's valid for the whole of the month really. So it gives you time to get into a rhythm with it, and hopefully by the end of May it'll become a habit, and that habit will really take your lifestyle forward. So yeah, I like this card. I use it as a warning, to be honest. I use it as a warning that if I don't maybe take extra care, if I've got a brain that sometimes runs ahead. I'm on the cusp of Taurus and Gemini, and the Gemini brain can really, really run ahead at times, doing this, whatever. And when that card comes out, I have to go, Gemini brain, shh, shh, shh. So those of you that have Gemini totally will understand that one. Right, let's look at love. Ooh, this is an interesting one. I have to put my hands over the boobs. Basically, it's two women with a wee manny. Come on, camera. Come on, camera. Right, he's sitting there. There's two roads ahead. There's two naked women. And it's about indecision, procrastination, and sometimes being tempted elsewhere. So in relationships, I use this as a warning. It's a warning to say, we've all got problems, we've all got issues, but maybe put more rather than less energy into your relationship, because it's worthwhile. When this card comes out, some people can find escapism, and maybe be chatting to someone on the internet and maybe flirting a bit. And that, with this card, has the danger of just going that wee bit too far, where something that is fantasy, something that is potentially just a bit of fun, because maybe you're not connecting with your partner well enough at a time of stress, or maybe they're busy, or they've got their own head things going on, there can be, this card can just take fantasy that wee bit closer, and that's dangerous. So I see this as quite a dangerous card for relationships. So, and it can be used as a warning to look after your partners more and to give them your time and your space. There's nothing worse than being indifferent to a partner. I think indifference just kills relationships. We deserve to be looked at when we're talking. We deserve to be listened to, even if we're talking rubbish. We deserve to have cuddles. We deserve to have interactions. If a partner is indifferent to you, then this card does sort of push you in another direction. And in that case, it might, if you're thinking of another direction, maybe that's there to show you that your marriage or your relationship isn't good anyway. So it can be used as a warning. It can be used as an understanding that a relationship isn't giving you what you need it to be. If you, excuse me, if you're looking for a relationship, not the best week, it really isn't. You could find that you're interested in someone and then you flip to someone else, and there's nothing that really takes your attention to the level that would be enjoyable, if you know what I mean. You would be like, well, I've just wasted 2 hours chatting to that person, and it's rubbish. So just if you're looking for a partner, maybe focus on your own kind of self-love, pampering, stuff like that, and that month would be better spent. Okay, right. Wealth. Wealth. Oops. Flying cards. The Knight of Swords. Very busy brain going on there. The eyes are strongly focused on the future. And for finances, this is a good one. this camera is crazy today, isn't it? It's not got its usual setup. It doesn't know what it's doing, and I do apologise, but this is a setup for the next couple of weeks, and then we'll back to normality. So, finances, it's a time for planning ahead. If you are at home and on lockdown, there's really no excuse not to be not spending. Do you see what I mean? You shouldn't have impulse buys. You're not wandering around a shop and saying, "Oh, I'll have that, I'll have that, I'll have that." And to be honest, a lot of the stuff online isn't available anyway. So this could be a time to really, really take your finances forward. I've had a few people say to me that actually their finances have been the best in the last month or so than they've ever been. Now that literally is not necessarily because they're getting extra money or whatever. It's just they're not spending as much. Now I realise that there's a lot of people being made redundant and a lot of people furloughed at this time. This is saying, the future's still there. This virus will go away. Jobs will come back, and just try and make even a plan for the next 6 months to get by, but keep your eye on the longer term, knowing that things will be okay for you. So it's a good one for people that are not spending but do have still an income coming in. If, as I say, there's a redundancy or whatever, it may force you, rather than think of the short term and be like, oh my goodness, think for the longer term and know that you're in a temporary situation. So that's a good card in its way. Right, spirituality. Oh, spirituality, we have the Six of Cups in this deck. You can see it's full of pleasure. There's beautiful colours, a couple enjoying one another. It's a very, very different interpretation of the Six of Cups in the traditional deck, isn't it? Where it's more about children and stuff like that. This brings out a sense of hedonism, but controlled hedonism. I know that sounds crazy, but if you look at this, it's just one of the cards that I could look at a million times and still find something different in it. The colours are different, the faces are beautiful. Even the wallpaper behind them is pretty amazing. Stunning deck, stunning six. So what it brings out is in Rohrig, the need to have fun, and the need to just literally enjoy ourselves in ways that we can enjoy ourselves. And that sometimes can be going back to memories of childhood, and it can be finding your inner child and just enjoying it. But Rohrig brings out more fun, and it brings out I always think with this card, if there's some sort of quarantine or whatever, we get lots of babies born 9 months down the line. So it's about enjoying yourself, having fun. It's about textures, it's about tastes, it's about the way that fabrics feel, it's the way a rose smells. It's about taking everyday situations and finding a passion in them, and finding something almost quite hedonistic in them without, drinking, drugs, all that sort of thing. It's not that type of card. It's more about nature. It's more about enjoying the natural things that can bring pleasure. And right, so that's a kind of weird one, isn't it, to have out for spirituality? Well, not really. In the medicine field, spirituality's in the East, and the physical and the body are in the west, so they're across the axis from one another. And if you affect one axis, if you're kind of lacking in one area of life on the medicine wheel and you're low in that, actually focusing on the other side of the axis can bring it back into balance. So spiritually, maybe we're all a wee bit done in. There's a lot of people been having very, very active dream time, very active dreams, night terrors, sleepwalks, and all the very, very open time. I mean, I spend my time more closing down than I do opening up, and that's been the last 3 months. So, spiritually, maybe we're a wee bit done in. And maybe we need to ground ourselves, and ground ourselves by having walks in nature, from maybe being in the garden, from, yes, you know, making love with our partners, enjoying the sense of closeness that comes with that. So it is a good spiritual card, although it's very much an earthy, emotional card, because when we're focused on doing something that we really love and doing something that brings us great pleasure, spiritually we can just be at peace, and there can be an awful lot of even things going on. We get maybe even spiritual downloads. We maybe understand something, you know. It's like maybe having some flowers and really looking at them, and then all of a sudden seeing their energy. And that's sort of a physical act that became a spiritual awakening. It's hard to explain, but I think you know where I'm coming from with that one. So, yep, I think I've covered everything. If I haven't, I've no lists or whatever today, just working on the hoof as such. So, it's probably been a long one. These cards, they're not too bad. Certainly the initial global one is probably my most interesting one. But it looks like May could be a time where we're sort of maybe half and half. We're sort of half moving forward. There's changes certainly in a lot of outlooks in the week ahead, particularly globally, but we've been told to rest and recuperate, and we've been told to have some fun as well. Remember, fun, you know, like I'm on social media quite a bit, and you know, I'm starting to see this coming through. Yes, I'm kind of trying to honour everybody that I'm seeing coming through that is saying they've got someone that's passed or whatever. That's important, but ultimately we're also getting some really hilarious memes, some really funny jokes, not horrible jokes, I don't mean that, completely, you know, they're just fun. Some of them are, you know, it's like watching animals like having fun and coming back to cities and stuff like that. That's fun, and that's been going up a little. And I believe that will continue for the month of May. So all you meme makers, all you video makers, all you comedians, all you actors, all you people that make music, all you creatives out there that spend time to make us laugh or make us in awe of something, this is your month. Off you go. Right, I hope you've liked that. If you like my way of reading the tarot, my book, Tarot Novice to Pro in one book, is available on all Amazons and other places as well, all over the place. And we've also got Memoirs of a Clairvoyant, which is out 2.5 years, oh my goodness, and is still doing quite well. And I'd like this to move a wee bit more in USA, to be honest. It's done well in an awful lot of other countries, but the USA is a bit slow to come round to it. So yeah, if you would spread the news about the memoirs. I'm going to stop promoting it soon because the new book should be out in a wee while. I'm not going to pin it down exactly, it's just a wee whiley. So many blessings. I'll see you throughout the month with videos. Take care, many blessings, and just be safe.